I knew the bond was dying the moment he said it. Not the vows. Not the touch of Brielle's manicured hand sliding into his. But the whisper that slipped from Jace's lips when he thought I couldn't hear, "She's too quiet to be Luna." Funny, isn't it? How a mate can stab you clean through without lifting a blade. I stood there, the Omega girl who read in corners, watching my fated mate commit to my best friend under the silver lights of Crescent Hollow's ceremony hall. Everyone gasped when the bond snapped like a brittle string. I didn't. I'd felt it fraying for years. And when I left the next morning, broken suitcase dragging behind me, I thought I was running from humiliation. Turns out, I was running toward destiny. Because the moment I stepped into Blackwater City's territory, an alpha with midnight eyes inhaled sharply and growled my name like a vow he'd been waiting his whole life to speak Soren Blackwater. My real mate. If you believe quiet girls rise the loudest, hit subscribe before we go any further. Because fate is petty. Fate is reckless. And fate is about to rewrite everything I ever thought I knew. Chapter 1. My name is Selene Hart, 24, part-time librarian assistant, full-time background character in my own pack. People always thought I was silent because I had nothing to say. Truth, I didn't speak because I heard everything. Whispers traveled in packs like mine, a little too fast, a little too sharp. Pretty but boring. Sweet but forgettable. Omega blood doesn't rule. It follows. I pretended it didn't hurt. My wolf Astra pretended she didn't want to claw someone. And Brielle Snow, my best friend since we were 6, pretended she didn't fuel half those rumors. She was the sun, golden, warm, impossible to ignore. I was the shadow she cast without noticing. But the funny thing about shadows? They see everything the light refuses to Jace Rowan, the pack heir, future alpha, smug owner of the world's most punchable dimples, was my fated mate. Our bond ignited when I was 19, and he was 21. The moment it flared between us, everyone assumed I'd follow the predictable script: fated mate, Luna training, marriage, happily ever after. Except Jace wanted a Luna who sparkled. And I sparkled about as often as the moon mid-eclipse. I tried, though. Goddess, I tried. I went to the parties Brielle dragged me to. I hosted pack brunches that left me sweating more than training drills. I even learned how to walk in heels, though I sounded like a drunk centaur. But every time Brielle laughed, Jace stared. Every time I spoke, he blinked, as if surprised I had vocal cords. It wasn't a surprise when he started spending more time with her. It was a surprise when he stood before the pack council and declared the bond ill-matched, because I lacked the temperament for leadership. Translation: I didn't flirt enough for his ego, Astra whimpered inside me that night. I can be louder, she whispered. But I didn't want to be loud for someone who only heard echoes of himself. 3 months later, he married Brielle, and the bond snapped like fragile glass. Dark humor moment? I swear I heard Astra mutter, "Finally the trash took itself out." No dramatic goodbye. No confrontation. No crying on the long dining table the pack loved so much. I just packed my books, my clothes, and the one photo of my mother, a woman with my same quiet smile, and walked out of Crescent Hollow before dawn. The streets were empty except for the scent of pine and dust. My suitcase wheel kept getting stuck in a crack on the sidewalk. I kept saying I was fine. Astra kept saying I was lying. "Where will we go?" she asked. "Anywhere but here." The bus to Blackwater City came at 6:12 a.m. I boarded with the $200 in my wallet and a heart that still ached too loud for someone supposedly silent. Blackwater City was bigger, louder, wilder. Its skyline glittered with silver-lit towers, wards humming faintly around each building. The city's way of keeping rogue magic at bay. I stepped off the bus. And everything changed. A scent hit me first, storm rain on stone, cedar, and something that made every nerve stand upright. Then a voice, low and rough like midnight itself, dragging across my skin. Selene Hart. I froze. No one here knew my name. I turned, and there he was, Alpha Soren Blackwater, 6'4" of quiet lethality wrapped in black. Dark hair, sharper jawline than any romance cover model, had a right to eyes like moonless nights. Unreadable, intense. But more than that, scent recognition slammed into me. Not soft, not slow, not warm. Instant pure. Faded. Undeniable. Astra howled so loud inside me I nearly staggered. Soren took one step toward me, controlled but hungry, like he'd been waiting for this moment, this breath, this exact version of me. Suitcase, heartbreak, trembling hope, and all. His voice dropped to a whisper meant only for me. "You ran from the wrong mate, little wolf." My throat dried. How do you know my name?" His eyes softened, just a fraction. "Because the moon told me." And then, like the universe had perfect comedic timing, my suitcase wheel snapped clean off and rolled into traffic. I stared down at it. "Of course," I muttered. "The goddess said new beginnings. She didn't specify they'd start with a disaster." Soren's mouth curled, not a smile, a promise. "I'll get your things." And as he reached for my bag with a gentleness no alpha ever used unless they were claiming something precious, one truth settled into my bones. Jace didn't reject me, he released me. Because fate had been saving me for someone far, far louder. Chapter 2. Soren didn't wait for permission. Alpha privilege or cosmic destiny, take your pick. But he simply lifted my suitcase as if it weighed nothing and stepped onto the sidewalk like it was his territory, because it was. Blackwater City wasn't just a pack, it was an empire, a network of high-rise towers, enchanted transit lines, supernatural safe houses, and wolves who dressed like they were on magazine covers even when buying coffee. Crescent Hollow looked like a sleepy farm town compared to this place. I tugged at the hem of my sweater, trying to shrink into it. Old habits die quietly. Soren glanced down at me, eyes trailing with the kind of attention that wasn't greedy, just startlingly observant. "You're nervous," he said. "Yes, obviously." My wolf was vibrating like a tuning fork inside me. I'm not usually approached by strangers," I murmured. His brow lifted. "I'm not a stranger." You are." He shook his head, slow and certain. "Not to you." A shiver chased down my spine. "We've never met." "Not in this life." "Excuse me?" Astra practically somersaulted. Ask him now." I ignored her, mostly because my knees were dying. We walked down the sidewalk, buildings rising around us like steel guardians. The city felt alive, buzzing, watching. Soren moved like the air parted for him. Other wolves glanced our way, then immediately looked down. Necks bare, throats exposed, alpha of the strongest city pack on the eastern coast. And he was walking beside me. Little Omega me. The universe had a twisted sense of humor. Soren stopped abruptly. I nearly walked into his back and died on the spot. He scanned the street, nostrils flaring slightly. "What is it?" I whispered. "Your heart rate just jumped." "My what? How do you—" He glanced down, eyes flicking to my throat, then to my wrist. "Your pulse is audible." Okay. That was mildly mortifying. "Are you wary of me?" he asked softly. Was I? "Yes, no, yes, also maybe a little bit. I want to hide under a pillow." "Not wary," I said. "Just overwhelmed." His expression gentled, like dusk turning into night. "Then we move slower." Something inside me cracked. Jace never slowed down for me. He walked ahead and expected me to catch up. He wanted noise, glitter, spotlight. Soren walked beside me, and he didn't mind the quiet, he listened to it. "Where are you staying?" he asked. "A hostel, on 7th. Which was code for the cheapest, most questionable building that didn't list paranormal murders in the reviews. Soren exhaled, slowly, as if the moon itself had sinned by letting me consider that option. "No." I'm sorry? "You can't stay somewhere unsafe." It's cheap, I said weakly. So is a coffin. My jaw dropped. Astra wheezed, laughed in my head. He's dramatic. Keep him. I crossed my arms. I can take care of myself. I don't doubt you can, but you shouldn't have to. Why did that hit so hard? Why did that feel like being seen for the first time? Soren stepped closer, not touching, but near enough that the scent of cedar and storm rain wrapped around me like a protective shield. There are guest apartments in my tower, he said. You'll have your own space, security, privacy, and a warded perimeter that alerts me if anyone approaches. You want me to stay with you? I want you safe. Then, after a beat, and my wolf wants you close. My breath caught. He said it like a confession he'd been holding for years. A group of young wolves passed on the sidewalk. One of them did a double take. Alpha Blackwater? She squeaked. Soren nodded politely. Her eyes slid to me, then widened. Omega Scent, I flushed. Her friend whispered too loudly, is he, like a claiming situation? I wanted to evaporate, into mist, into dust, into a book page I could hide between volumes 7 and 8 of my favorite fantasy series. Soren's aura shifted, dark, commanding. He spoke without raising his voice. Keep walking. They fled as if chased. I stared at him, mortified. You didn't have to. I did. Their questions made you uncomfortable. You can't just dominate the population because I'm awkward. He considered that. Watch me. I groaned. We reached a sleek gray building with obsidian windows that reflected the city lights like captured stars. Blackwater Tower. The entrance was guarded by 2 massive wolves, actual wolves, statues by day, living guardians by night. They sniffed the air when I approached, and bowed. To me, I stumbled back. What are they doing? Soren's tone dropped, velvet and dangerous. Recognizing my mate. Hold on. The air left my lungs. Mate? I squeaked. He blinked once, slowly, like the word wasn't a grenade he'd just dropped. You didn't know? No. I mean, I felt something, but Jace was... Your bond with him shattered because it was weak, manufactured, forced by proximity. Excuse you, our bond was... Nothing, he said calmly. A flicker compared to this. This what? He stepped closer, eyes locking with mine, voice lowering until it was barely sound at all. This, Selene. The bond that doesn't break, the one that's been hunting me for a decade. My heartbeat stuttered. Why me? I whispered. His answer was immediate. Because you are quiet, and quiet wolves hear the truth long before loud wolves lie. We entered the tower's lobby, all marble, moonlit glass, and the scent of warded magic humming through the walls. My breath hitched. It was beautiful. A woman behind the desk gasped. Alpha, you brought someone? Soren shot her a look so sharp she vanished behind paperwork. I hissed at him. You're scaring everyone. They stare at you, he replied. I dislike it. That was not logical, but also flattering. Astra purred. The elevator chimed. Soren gestured me in. The tension was ridiculous. My cheeks burned. My wolf was screaming. And I was pretty sure the goddess was somewhere above us laughing. The doors slid shut. He inhaled. One deep, controlled breath that curled heat beneath my skin. Your scent, he murmured, voice roughening, is going to be the death of my restraint. My knees gone. Forever. If you were Selene, would you go with Soren to the tower, or would you run from another alpha claiming you so fast your suitcase catches fire? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious which path your wolf would choose. When the elevator reached the 17th floor, Soren held the door open for me. Selene, he said softly. There is something I need to know. I swallowed. Okay. Who broke you? My breath shattered in my lungs. Not because he asked, but because he asked gently, because he saw it, because for the first time in years, someone wasn't telling me to quiet down, someone was listening. I opened my mouth, but the words stuck. Was it your ex-mate? He asked. I blinked rapidly. Jace didn't break me, not completely. Then who did? I looked away. At the city framed through the glass. At the moon faint behind the skyscrapers. My best friend, I whispered. Soren's aura darkened, pulsing through the hallway like a storm rolling in. Good, he growled softly. Then I'll know exactly who to start with. The door to the guest suite slid open behind him, and I stepped inside a future I wasn't sure I deserved. Chapter 3. The Guest Suite. Soren led me into was not a room. It was a sanctuary disguised as an apartment. Soft gray walls, warm lighting, a massive window overlooking the glittering sprawl of Blackwater City, a bed big enough to house a small militia, and shelves, empty shelves, waiting for books. A strange ache filled my chest. No one had ever prepared space for me. Not like this. Not intentionally. Soren set my suitcase down gently, as if the bag had feelings too. You'll stay here, he said, voice steady, for as long as you need. He didn't say until you're mine, or until I mark you, or until fate binds us completely. He said need, as if my comfort mattered more than the bond pulling at him. I stood frozen in the center of the room, gripping the strap of my bag like it was an anchor in a storm. Soren, I said softly, you don't even know me. He stepped closer, not looming, not crowding, just present. I know your scent. I know your heartbeat. I know your soul quiets when you're overwhelmed and sharpens when you're threatened. I know you hold your hands like that. He pointed gently to the way I curled my fingers. When you're trying not to tremble. I swallowed hard. You observe everything, he continued. That is strength, Selene. It always has been. No one had ever spoken my silence into power before Astra practically melted. Mate, mate, mate. I ignored her again. Barely. But you still don't know me, I whispered. His eyes softened. Then let me. My breath caught because the world had never waited for me before, never asked, never paused long enough to invite me in. After helping me settle, Soren insisted that I eat. I'm not hungry. I lied. He arched an eyebrow. And I'm a vegetarian. My stomach betrayed me with a loud growl, a traitor, a loud, messy, inconvenient traitor. He didn't comment, but he did smirk, which somehow made it worse. He ordered food from somewhere downstairs. A knock came 10 minutes later. 2 wolves delivered trays of steaming dishes without making eye contact. I whispered, mortified. Do they never look at anyone? They know better than to stare at their Luna. I choked on air, just absolutely perished. I'm not. You are, he said simply. He pushed a tray toward me. Roasted chicken, vegetables, rice, warm bread. Real food. Not instant ramen, not cereal, not the whatever's left in the fridge meals I'd lived on since Jace reduced our connection to dust. Soren sat across from me, his posture relaxed but watchful, like he was making sure I didn't vanish. You haven't eaten like this in a long time, he murmured. How would you know? Your wolf is underfed. Astra made an offended noise like, excuse you, sir, I am a delicate flower. But she couldn't argue with the truth. I ate. Slowly, carefully. Every bite felt like reclaiming something I didn't know I'd lost. Soren didn't eat until he saw me halfway through my plate. Only then did he lean back, satisfied. You should always be cared for, he said. My chest tightened because I didn't know how to accept that, wasn't sure I was allowed to. After dinner, he offered to show me the rooftop garden. I almost said no. Too much, too fast, too soon. But Astra whispered, let him show you the stars. And for once, I listened. We took the elevator to the roof. The doors opened onto a world made of moonlight and greenery. Lavender bushes swayed beside enchanted lanterns. A fountain glowed faintly blue from runes carved along its rim. The city stretched beneath us, alive and shimmering. I whispered, it's beautiful. Soren stood beside me, not touching, but close enough that his warmth seeped into my bones. "It's quieter up here," he said. He noticed that I needed quiet. No one ever had before. I looked out at the skyline. "I like it." "You like the view," he corrected, "not the height." My heart stopped. "How do you know I'm scared of heights?" "You held your breath when the wind shifted." I blinked rapidly. "Do you always watch people that closely?" "No." His voice was low, roughened at the edges. "Just you." The confession hit me like a spark against dry tinder. "Why?" I whispered. He didn't look away from me, not for a second. "Because you see the world in a way I never learned to, and I want to understand what you'll see next." My pulse skittered in my throat. "Soren." "Yes?" "This is a lot. I know. I don't move fast. I know. I'm afraid." He stepped closer, his voice quiet and sure. "Then I'll move slow." Those 6 words hit deeper than any vow Jace ever made. The wind shifted. A memory rose with it, sharp, unwelcome. Brielle's voice sweet and venomous. "You can't be Luna, Selene. You don't even speak loudly enough to give orders." Jace's laugh. "She's too plain, too quiet. Our pack needs excitement." I flinched. Soren noticed. "Who hurt you first?" he asked softly. "Your ex-mate or your friend?" "Friend," I whispered. "Always her." His jaw tensed, eyes darkening in a way that made the air thrum. "Tell me," he said. "Why?" "So I know who to protect you from." I swallowed hard. "Soren, you don't even know if I'll stay here." He stepped into my space then, not trapping, just deliberate. "I already know," he murmured, "because your wolf has been howling for mine since the moment you arrived." Astra huffed smugly. "Finally, a man who listens." My cheeks burned. It's just maybe." "You don't have to decide tonight," he said, "or tomorrow or next month." Then, softer, "But I will wait." Something inside my chest unraveled, thread by fragile thread, not because he claimed me, because he didn't chase, didn't demand, didn't drag me into a role I wasn't ready for. He simply stayed, quiet, steady, unmoving, like a wolf guarding the edge of a dark forest, waiting for me to step forward when I was ready. If someone like Soren read you so deeply, every breath, every pause, every fear, would you find it comforting? Or terrifying? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to know which wolves in the audience run toward that kind of attention, and which ones would bolt I turn to face him fully. "Soren?" "Yes, little wolf." "Why me, really?" He searched my face, not for flaws but for truths. "Because your silence isn't empty," he said softly. "It's full of things no one bothered to understand." My throat tightened. "And because," he added, "I have waited my entire life for a mate who speaks with her soul instead of her voice." He didn't touch me. He didn't need to. His words did. The moon hung above us, silver and watching, and for the first time since Jace chose Brielle, I felt something fragile and dangerous inside me awaken. Hope, a quiet hope, a loud heart, and a bond that had nothing to do with destiny, and everything to do with choice. Chapter 4. I didn't sleep much that night. Not because the guest suite wasn't comfortable. It was too comfortable. The sheets were soft. The pillows swallowed me whole. The city hummed gently outside the windows like a lullaby made of neon and ward light. But comfort was foreign to me. And safety? Safety was a rumor I'd never personally met. Astra paced inside me, restless, alert, muttering things like, "He's our mate. Our real mate. Go to him. He's awake. I can smell it. Go to him. He probably sleeps shirtless. Definitely go to him." I rolled over and buried my face in the pillow. How do wolves divorce their wolf? Asking for a friend. Astra huffed. I woke to sunlight spilling across the floor in bright, warm ribbons. For a moment, I forgot where I was. Then the scent hit me. Storm rain and cedar Soren. The bond tugged faintly, not painful, not demanding, Just a pull, like gentle fingers curling around mine. A knock sounded. I scrambled upright. Yes? His voice came through the door, calm, warm. Breakfast is ready. Breakfast. Like he was my... Nope. Not going down that emotional death trap at 8 a.m., I opened the door. And I swear the goddess paused the universe for dramatic effect. Soren stood there in a dark sweater, sleeves pushed up to his forearms. And I swear on all things moon-blessed, the man had no right to have forearms like that veined. Strong, warm. Astra swooned. Grab them. I mentally slapped her. Good morning, he said, eyes scanning me gently. I touched my hair self-consciously. Is it morning already? It is. His voice lowered a shade. You didn't sleep well. How would you? You have shadows under your eyes. Oh, right. He noticed everything. He handed me a mug, warm, fragrant, spiced. I didn't know how you take your coffee, so I made 3 versions, he said. 3 coffees. For one girl. I stared at him, stunned. Jace never even remembered I'd drink coffee. Soren's jaw flexed once, sharply. He never deserved to know. He led me to a small dining alcove with floor-to-ceiling windows, showcasing the city bathed in golden light. The table was already set eggs, toast, fruit, something that smelled suspiciously like homemade cinnamon rolls. You cooked? I gasped. He nodded. But you're alpha. And I have hands. A beat. And a stove. I pressed my lips together. That's not how alphas usually talk. Then other alphas are idiots. A startled laugh escaped me, warm and involuntary. His eyes softened at the sound, like I'd handed him something sacred. We ate in quiet, comfortable silence. I didn't know how much I needed comfortable silence until that moment. Halfway through my cinnamon roll, I felt his gaze on me. Selene, he said, voice deepening, tell me what happened the night you left. I froze because no one had asked me that. Not truly. Not without judgment or gossip or agendas. No one wanted to understand. They wanted the scandal Soren. Wanted me. I set down my fork. It was after the rehearsal dinner, I began slowly. Jace and Brielle were dancing. Everyone was watching them, and pretending not to watch me watching them. Soren's eyes sharpened, but he said nothing. I went outside for air. I heard them through the window. My voice cracked. Brielle was saying she didn't want me near the ceremony in case I brought down the mood. Soren's aura flared like a storm cloud dark. Silent. Deadly. And Jace, I continued, breathing carefully, told her not to worry. He said I was too boring to cause a scene. He closed his eyes once, slowly, as if restraining something violent. I swallowed. That's when I knew. The bond hadn't broken yet, but something in me had. Astra whimpered inside me, small and wounded. So I left, I whispered, before they could see me fall apart. He didn't move for a moment, just breathed. Long, slow, controlled. But the table trembled, literally. The legs vibrated under the pressure of his aura. Soren? I whispered. His eyes opened, bright, burning silver. Alpha mode fully activated. No one, he said softly, ever gets to speak to you that way again. My breath hitched. It's over. They're married. I'm gone. They don't deserve to exist in the same sentence as you. I blinked rapidly. Soren! You are not boring, he said. You are observant, intelligent, sensitive, loyal, and quiet because you listen, a skill most wolves lack. I was never enough for him. No, he agreed, but only because he was too small to hold a mate like you. Silence fell, thick, weighted, emotional, a little dangerous. Everything inside me went soft and sharp at the same time. Then, my phone buzzed. I flinched. Soren's eyes snapped to the device like it had personally offended the moon. The caller ID made my stomach flip Brielle. Of course, because the universe adored drama. Soren's voice dropped into pure alpha command. Don't answer that. My heartbeat thundered. I should at least. You owe her nothing. My hands shook. He placed his lightly over mine, just resting there, not holding, not gripping, but grounding. Selene, he murmured, you walk forward now, not back. I exhaled shakily. The phone buzzed again, harder, longer. Then it stopped. I closed my eyes. Soren whispered, "Good girl." My entire soul glitched. Astra fainted. I pretended I did not feel that in every cell. When the silence settled again, he leaned back slightly. "I want to make something clear," he said. I tensed. He noticed. His expression softened. "I'm not asking you to choose me," he said gently. "Not today, not even soon." Relief flooded me, warm and trembling. "I only ask one thing." "What's that?" I whispered. "That you let me show you what a real bond feels like." My breath caught. "And if you still want to leave when I'm done?" He exhaled slowly. "Then I'll walk you to the bus station myself." Oh, my heart. Gone stolen. Brutally kidnapped. And Astra? Astra was doing cartwheels. If your ex-mate's new wife suddenly called you the morning after they betrayed you, would you answer the phone or let it rot in voicemail like Selene did? Tell me in the comments. I want to know who's picking violence and who's picking peace. I looked at Soren, really looked, at the alpha who watched me without expectation, who listened without judgment, who offered safety without strings. And something inside me whispered, maybe I'm not broken. Maybe I was just waiting for the right heart to hear my silence. I lifted my chin. "Soren." "Yes, little wolf?" "I'll stay." His chest rose, once, deeply. "Good," he whispered. "Then the real beginning starts now." His words were quiet, but my heart roared. Chapter 5. I thought staying would feel heavy. Like choosing Soren meant I was betraying some invisible vow to Jace. But when morning light filled the guest suite again, something inside me felt light, untethered, like the first breath after surfacing from deep water. Astra stretched inside me with smug satisfaction. "We chose survival," she purred. "Now we choose joy." I rolled my eyes, but she wasn't wrong. Soren knocked on my door around 9. He didn't barge in, didn't command, didn't even use his alpha voice, Selene. Just my name, spoken with care. "I'm up," I called. He stepped inside, dressed in dark jeans and a gray shirt that fit him like a threat. My stomach did an embarrassing swoop. "We'll be inspecting the ward line this morning," he said. "I'd like you to come." "The ward line?" I blinked. "Isn't that dangerous?" "For anyone who doesn't belong," he said. "But you, the wards have already recognized your signature." "My what?" "Your scent, your aura, your presence." "I have a presence?" He moved closer, eyes softening. "A quiet one, but powerful." There he went again, painting my silence as something holy. "Come," he said, offering his hand, not touching, just open. "I'll show you." I hesitated only a second before stepping close. Not touching, but close. We took the elevator down and stepped into morning traffic. Wolves in suits, witches carrying coffee, a vampire waiting impatiently for the crosswalk light to change Blackwater, was chaos wrapped in glamour. I kept close to Soren, not because I was scared, but because he navigated crowds like water bent around him. Wolves stared. Witches whispered. Humans instinctively stepped aside. But Soren? He ignored them, except when they stared too long at me. Then his aura dropped like a warning growl. "Soren," I hissed, tugging his sleeve. "You're scaring pedestrians." He didn't look at me, just took one step closer, brushing my shoulder with his "Good. Good? Let them learn." "Learn what?" "That you're not to be approached lightly." I almost choked. I'm literally the least threatening person in this entire district. His eyes slid sideways. "You haven't seen yourself through my wolf's eyes yet." My breath stuttered. Astra preened. Blackwater's ward line was a ring of shimmering energy around the city, visible only if you knew where to look. Soren led me to a secluded alley that opened into a narrow strip of forest. The air shimmered there, blue, silver, alive. I gasped softly, "It's beautiful." Soren watched my face instead of the ward's. "It is." I elbowed him gently. "I was talking about the wards." "I wasn't," he murmured. Astra screamed internally. I tried to ignore her. He approached the shimmer first. When his hand breached the surface, the ward pulsed, welcoming him. He nodded at me. "Your turn." I stepped forward, heart racing. My fingers hovered near the magic, warmth humming against my skin. "What if it rejects me?" I whispered. "It won't." "How do you know?" His voice dropped, velvet deep. "Because you're mine." My fingers slipped forward, and the ward glowed bright gold, not blue. Not silver, gold, the color of acceptance, the color of protection, the color that meant mate recognized. Soren inhaled sharply, not in shock, in reverence. "It sees you," he whispered. "It sees me?" "Yes, and it welcomes you home." My knees almost buckled. No one had ever welcomed me anywhere. I stepped back, overwhelmed. Soren moved instinctively, hands hovering near my waist, not touching, but there if I needed. I didn't need. But I wanted. "Are you all right?" he asked quietly. "I'm a little dizzy." He leaned closer, voice warm on my cheek. "It's just the bond. It grows louder when we get closer." I swallowed. "How loud?" He exhaled, the sound shaky. "Louder than it's ever been." And then he finally touched me, one hand on my wrist, light as moonlight, barely there. But the world tilted. Warmth shot up my arm. My heartbeat stuttered. Astra howled. Soren froze, eyes flicking to mine. "Too much?" he asked softly. "No," I whispered, "not enough." The look he gave me then, a storm, a vow, a promise wrapped in hunger. Just as the air crackled between us, as the bond hummed, electric and wild, a voice yelled from the tree line. "Alpha!" We jumped apart like guilty teenagers. A warrior wolf sprinted toward us, panting. "Alpha Blackwater, you need to see this. It's urgent." Soren's expression shifted. Calm, sharp, deadly focused. "What happened?" he asked. The warrior hesitated, eyes darting to me. Soren growled softly. "Speak." It's Crescent Hollow," the warrior said. My entire body went cold. "What about Crescent Hollow?" I asked, voice shaking. He swallowed. "They've filed a petition with the council." "What kind of petition?" His eyes flicked between us nervously. "They're demanding your return." The world went silent. Astra snarled inside me. Soren stepped in front of me, shielding, protective, furious. "I'd like to see them try," he said. "If your old pack tried to drag you back after they betrayed you, would you let Soren fight it, or march back there yourself to tell them where to shove their petition? Tell me in the comments. I need to know which wolves are ready for violence." I stared at the warrior. Then at Soren. My voice came out small. "What do they want from me now?" Soren's jaw flexed, anger radiating off him like heat. "They don't get to want anything from you," he said quietly. "You're under my protection now." "That'll start a political problem," the warrior warned. Soren didn't blink. "Then let it." He turned to me, expression softening in a way that was almost painful to witness. "Selene," he said gently, "you are not going back. But the council will answer to me. But Jace is nothing. But Brielle." A low, deadly rumble left his chest. "She is the first name on my list." My breath hitched. He stepped closer, voice falling to a vow. "I will not let them claim you again, not as an Omega, not as property, not as their mistake." His eyes burned into mine. "You are mine to protect now." My heart roared in my chest. Not because he claimed me, but because, for the first time in my life, someone chose me, not out of obligation, not out of pity, but out of truth. And destiny stirred quietly, like a wolf waking from a long sleep. Chapter 6. The world tilted. My old pack, the people who whispered behind my back, who watched me vanish at dawn without blinking, suddenly wanted me back? Not for love, not for regret, not for apology. No, Crescent Hollow only demanded wolves when they wanted control. Astra snarled inside me, low and vicious. Let me at them. I'll chew their paperwork and their ankles. I rubbed my temples. This makes no sense. Soren turned to the warrior. Who filed the petition? The warrior swallowed. Jace Rowan and Brielle Snow. I laughed, out loud, a sharp, disbelieving laugh that didn't sound like it belonged to me. Soren's eyes flicked to me, a mix of concern and pride. The warrior looked terrified. Selene, Soren said, voice careful. Pack petitions only happen for 2 reasons. Territorial violations, the warrior added, and Soren's jaw tightened. Mate bonds. I stiffened. No, I whispered. They wouldn't. They can't. Jace broke our bond. He chose Brielle. I walked away. He married someone who is not his fated mate, Soren said calmly. That weakens him, politically, magically, emotionally, publicly. I blinked. Good. Bad, the warrior mumbled. Very bad. For who? I snapped. For them, Soren replied. Because now they're desperate. The warrior cleared his throat. They filed the petition under abandoned bond resolution. I stared, then stared harder, then nearly threw up. They're claiming I abandoned him? Soren's aura exploded, subtle but lethal. Behind him, the ward line crackled like distant lightning. He abandoned you, Soren growled. He humiliated me, I shouted. He failed you, Soren corrected gently. And Brielle? Brielle wants status, he said. Not a husband. Astra hissed. I knew it. I knew it. I pressed a hand over my chest, breath tight. So they want me to go back and, what, undo their mess? Soren stepped closer, expression softening. They want to use you as leverage, nothing more. The warrior hesitated. There's more. Soren's expression soured. Say it. They also requested your presence for an official hearing. Mine? I croaked. No, the warrior said. Alpha Blackwater's. The air froze. Astra stopped pacing. Even the wards seemed to hold their breath. They want me? Soren asked coldly. Yes, Alpha. To speak on what? The warrior winced. On why you're harboring an Omega from another pack. Ah, there it was. The real reason I wasn't a wolf. I was a pawn, a political piece, a tool. My heart shrank, folding in on itself like a wounded creature. Soren noticed instantly. He stepped in front of me, blocking the world from view. Selene, he said, voice low. Look at me. I did. His eyes were steady, warm, unflinching. They think they can pressure me with council threats, he said. They're mistaken. Soren. They think they can force your return, he continued. They're wrong. But the council. I don't bow to them. My breath caught. But you're one Alpha. They're an entire governing body. He stepped even closer, his voice dropping to a lethal whisper meant for my ears only, then they should pray I remain patient. The warrior visibly blanched. I blinked. Soren, you can't just threaten the council. I didn't threaten them, he corrected softly. I threatened anyone who thinks they have a claim to you. My heart warmed and cracked at the same time. I swallowed hard. I don't want you fighting my battles. I'm not. His tone gentled. I'm fighting the people who think you can be claimed like property. They don't care about me, I whispered. They care about appearances, status, politics. And I, he said, brushing a strand of hair away from my cheek, care about you. My breath hitched. Soren, you are not a prize. You are not a weapon. And you are not going back. His voice was soft but absolute. My eyes stung. Why? He leaned in, forehead almost touching mine. Because you chose yourself, and now I choose you. Astra whimpered softly, overwhelmed. I closed my eyes, letting his words settle into the cracks Jace left behind slow. Steady, safe. The warrior shifted nervously. What should we tell the council? Soren didn't look away from me when he spoke. Tell them no. The warrior blinked. Just no. Yes. And tell Crescent Hollow that if they send anyone to fetch her, they won't return. The warrior nodded and practically sprinted back toward the forest. I stared up at Soren. You know that declaration was basically a war threat, he shrugged. Only if they're stupid enough to test it. I groaned. Soren. He smiled faintly, brushing his thumb over my wrist. They're not taking you, he whispered. And if they try. His gaze darkened in the most intoxicating way imaginable. Then we show them exactly how loud a silent wolf can be. If the council demanded you return to a pack that betrayed you, would you walk into that hearing ready to burn everything down, or stay hidden behind Soren and let him unleash his alpha fury? Tell me in the comments. I want to know which wolves choose diplomacy and which choose destruction. Soren exhaled slowly. Selene, I need you to be honest. My heart hammered. About what? Do you want to face them, or forget they exist? I opened my mouth, then closed it, because I didn't know yet. I was learning who I was without Jace, without Brielle, without their whispers shaping my choices. So I said the only thing that felt true. I want to choose based on who I'm becoming, not who I was. Soren's expression softened into something warm and reverent. Then we'll give you time. You're not upset? No. His fingers brushed my cheek. I'm proud. I blinked, stunned. Why? Because you aren't deciding out of fear, he said. You're deciding out of growth. My throat tightened. You make it sound like I'm stronger than I feel. His voice dropped to a whisper. You are. And for the first time in my life, I believed it. Chapter 7. The walk back to Blackwater Tower felt different. Not because the city changed. The neon hum, the spell-lit signs, the morning crowd buzzing like restless bees. But because I changed. My spine felt straighter, my breath steadier, Astra quieter, but in that feral, I'm waiting to pounce way. Soren stayed close. A silent wall of calm fury wolves parted around us. Witches pretended not to listen. A vampire paused to sniff the air like he recognized my scent, and immediately thought better of it. Soren didn't speak until we reached the tower's lobby. Selene, he said softly, before we go upstairs, there's something you should know. I turned to face him. His eyes were serious, but gentle. That impossible balance he held so effortlessly. The council's petition will not disappear, he said. They will push, they will pressure, they will test every boundary. I swallowed hard. I figured. As your alpha. You're not my alpha, I whispered. His jaw worked once, not with anger, with restraint. Not yet, he corrected, but as the wolf who guards you, I need your trust. My heart fluttered. I do trust you. No, his voice was quiet but firm. I mean all of me. All of you? His eyes darkened. My dominance, my protection, my decisions, my instincts, my wolf. Astra perked up like someone dumped espresso into her bloodstream. I blinked, stunned. Soren, that's too much for now, he finished. I know. I breathed out shakily. I don't want to be controlled. You won't be, he said instantly. But I won't let the council harm you. I hesitated, then nodded, slow, small, but real. He exhaled, tension easing from his shoulders. Good, he murmured. Then I'll show you something. Instead of taking me to my guest suite, Soren led me to the elevator, but he scanned a different keycard this time. The doors opened to the top floor. My pulse jumped. What is this? My private level. Oh no. Oh, help! The hallway was sleek, minimalistic, quiet. The air thrummed with a different kind of energy, not wards, not magic. Him. Astra squeaked. Are we going to see his bed? His bed. I should brush my fur. Selene, Soren said, amused. You're overthinking. I have never overthought in my entire life, I lied. He led me to a room at the end of the hall. A door carved with crescent symbols and runes. He placed his palm against it. The runes glowed, silver, soft, ancient. The door opened. I gasped. It was a study. Floor-to-ceiling shelves packed with books, maps, historical texts, magic manuals, old diaries, an entire wall of scrolls. And in the center, a massive wooden table covered in runic diagrams and pack seals. This, he said quietly, is the room where I make decisions, as Alpha. My voice caught, why show me this? Because transparency matters, he said simply, and because you deserve to know what's happening. I swallowed. Hard no one had ever included me in decisions. Not at home, not in Crescent Hollow, not with Jace, especially not with Brielle. I walked slowly toward the central table. Soren watched me like every breath I took had weight. So, this is how packs function? I asked. This is how my pack functions. A deep distinction. He motioned toward a small stack of papers near the corner. This is the council petition, he said. I hesitated, then reached for the top page. My name stared back at me. Selene Hart, Omega class, formerly of Crescent Hollow Pack. Status, missing. Requested. Return for evaluation missing. Requested. Evaluated. Every word tasted like rusted chains. Missing? I whispered. I wasn't missing. You left without permission, Soren said grimly. I didn't need permission. His eyes softened. No, you didn't. I scanned the next paragraph and froze. Reason for retrieval. Former mate bond, unresolved impact on Crescent Hollow's leadership stability. Significant. No, I breathed. No, that's wrong. Jace broke the bond. He claims you did, Soren said. I felt dizzy. He's lying. I know. Soren, I whispered. Why are they doing this? Why now? His jaw tightened. Because something is happening in Crescent Hollow. Something they don't want the council to see. I stared at him. You think this has nothing to do with me? It has everything to do with you, he corrected, but you are not the problem. Then who is? He stepped behind me and pointed to a name scrawled at the bottom of the page. Filed by Brielle Snow. Astra lost it, let me kill her. My hands shook. Why would she file this? Because she's panicking, Soren said, and wolves who panic become dangerous. My throat tightened. I didn't think she'd go this far. You cared for her, he murmured, since we were kids. And she envied you, he added. I stiffened. What? Brielle envied me? Have you seen Brielle? She's beautiful, loud, confident. Everyone loves her. Everyone watches her, Soren said. Few love her. My breath faltered. Quiet wolves are often envied, he continued, because you listen, you understand, and you hold the truths others fear. I swallowed hard. Soren? Yes, little wolf? Will the council force me to go back? He shook his head. No. But you're under my protection, he said, and if the council wants a fight... He stepped closer, voice dropping. They'll meet the Alpha I don't show the world. A shiver ran through me. You're not afraid of them, I whispered. No, he paused, but I fear one thing. My heart stopped. What? You looking at Crescent Hollow and thinking they still deserve you. My breath fractured. Soren. I reached for his hand before I could stop myself. His fingers closed around mine instantly, warm, firm, steady. You listen to me, he murmured. No one chooses your fate but you. Not Jace, not Brielle, not the council. He squeezed my hand gently. Not even me. Warmth bloomed inside my chest, soft and trembling. Because he was right. For the first time in my life, my fate was mine. If you found a file with your name in your alpha's private study, accusing you of abandoning your mate, would you throw it in the fire, cry, or laugh in disbelief like Selene? Tell me in the comments. I need to know how your wolf would react. I looked into Soren's eyes. Dark, steady. Waiting. I'm not going back, I said. His breath shuddered softly. And why is that? Because I'm done being quiet for people who never listened. A slow, dangerous smile spread across his lips. My Selene, he whispered. Welcome to power. Astra howled with pride. And somewhere, miles away, I swear Crescent Hollow shivered. You're Chapter 8. Selene, Soren said. There's someone who needs to see you. Instant dread. Who? I asked, bracing. Not from Crescent Hollow, he reassured quickly, reading my panic. Someone from here. Someone who understands more about Omega signatures and bond fractures than most. A healer? A historian. I blinked. Why would a historian need to see me? His jaw tightened. Because your petition file wasn't the only thing Crescent Hollow sent. What else did they send? He met my eyes with a look that was half fury, half protectiveness so fierce it bordered on territorial. A document claiming you're unstable. My chest constricted, the room tilted. No, I whispered, they didn't. They did, he said quietly. Shame, old, familiar, dragged its claws down my ribs. Brielle's voice echoed in my skull. No one listens to her. She's too emotional. She overreacts. She's fragile. She's broken. Soren stepped into my space, voice low and dangerous. You are not unstable, he said. You were abused. My breath hitched. It wasn't. It was, he insisted. He reached out, slowly, gently, and touched the side of my jaw with 2 fingers. You survived in silence, he murmured. That is not weakness. Astra exhaled shakily inside me. We're not broken? No, Soren said, reading me. You are not broken. His words were truth, hollowing, healing, heavy. Soren led me down a different hallway on his private floor, farther from the study, beyond the war room doors, and into a quieter space filled with glass cases, books, scrolls, artifacts. A tall woman stood at the far table, ink-stained fingers and silver streaks in her dark hair. Selene, Soren said softly, this is Elder Marrow. She keeps our histories. Her eyes lifted, sharp, bright, ancient. Omega, she murmured, not unkindly. You've traveled far. I swallowed. Just a few hours. Time isn't the distance, she said. Pain is. My throat tightened. Soren whispered, Marrow is a truth-seer. Elder Marrow approached slowly and held out her hands. May I? She asked. May you what? See the imprint of your bond. Astra rose inside me, protective. No, we are ashamed. We hide the scars. But something in Marrow's eyes felt safe. Okay, I whispered. She placed her fingers lightly on my temples. Warmth, a pulse of magic, then a sharp intake of breath. She stumbled. Soren caught her elbow immediately. What did you see? He demanded. Her voice trembled. She wasn't bonded, Marrow said. She was silenced. My chest cracked. What does that mean? I whispered. It means, Marrow said gently, the bond between you and the Rowan boy didn't form naturally. I froze. Soren went completely still. Marrow continued, voice soft but firm. It was twisted, suppressed, bent around another's influence. My heart slammed against my ribs. What influence? She hesitated only a moment. Your friend. Brielle. Soren's aura exploded so violently the lights flickered. Marrow motioned for us to sit. I dropped into a chair. Soren stood, pacing behind me like a caged storm. Explain, he said, voice lethal. Marrow folded her hands. Omega bonds are delicate, sensitive, highly intuitive. I bit my lip. Meaning, easy to hurt? Meaning easy to manipulate, she corrected. If someone with ill intent stays close enough, whispers long enough, feeds insecurity consistently enough. Her gaze met mine. They can disrupt a fated connection. My breath shattered. She made you doubt yourself, Marrow said. She made you believe you were unworthy. She filled every quiet moment with poison. A tear slid down my cheek. Soren growled low at the sight. She weakened your side of the bond, Marrow finished. Jace's side was weak already. He lacked emotional depth. Combined with your shattered trust, the bond had no chance. So, it wasn't my fault, I whispered, voice trembling. No, Elder Marrow said firmly. It was engineered. A sob escaped me, soft, horrified. Soren knelt in front of my chair instantly, hands hovering near my knees but not touching. Selene, he said quietly, look at me. I did. His eyes weren't furious now. They were gentle. You were sabotaged, he whispered, by people who were supposed to love you. I shook with silent tears. Brielle, I gasped. She always told me I was too much or not enough. She said Jace needed someone brighter, and she made me feel guilty for everything. She conditioned you, Soren said, manipulated you, broke you down so she could step in. My voice trembled. I didn't see it. Because you loved her, he said softly, and she used that. A strangled noise left me, and Soren's hands, careful, cautious, finally closed around mine. Not dominance, not possession, but grounding. Marrow stepped back. There's more. I braced. Soren stiffened. Your wolf, Marrow said, was suppressed for years. Astra growled inside me. Tell them who did it. It wasn't Jace, Marrow continued. He didn't have the strength or focus. My stomach dropped. Then who? Your friend, she said Brielle. Again, always Brielle. Soren's eyes flicked bright silver. The room vibrated with his rage. She kept you small, Marrow said. She kept you silent. Astra clawed to the surface. No more silence, no more small. Marrow smiled faintly. Ah, good. The wolf remembers, even when the girl forgets. I swallowed hard. But why? I whispered. Why would she do that to me? I never. Envy, Soren said. Pure, ugly envy. Marrow nodded. Your potential terrified her. Your fated bond threatened her, and your quiet saw truths she didn't want exposed. So she killed the parts of you she feared, Soren finished. I shook with silent tears. But this time, they weren't tears of heartbreak. They were tears of awakening. Astra snarled, full-bodied and furious. Let me out. Let me reclaim what she stole. And deep inside, I felt it. A flicker of strength. A flame. A heartbeat that wasn't small, wasn't soft. A wolf rising. If you discovered your best friend, secretly sabotaged your bond, suppressed your wolf, and manipulated your entire life, would you confront her publicly, privately, or let your new alpha handle it? Tell me in the comments. I need to know which wolves choose revenge personally. Soren rose slowly, still holding my hands. Selene, he said, voice deep and steady, listen to me. I lifted my tear-streaked face. You were never broken, he whispered. You were bound. A breath left me, sharp, aching. And I, he said, eyes blazing, will help you unbind every piece. My chest cracked open, but not from pain, from possibility, from truth, from the beginning of something wild. Soren, I whispered, what do we do now? He smiled, slow, dangerous, reverent. Now, he said, we teach your wolf how to roar. Astra howled in triumph. And somewhere, miles away, I swear Brielle's pretty little world began to crack. Chapter 9. The moment Elder Marrow left the room, the air shifted. Not just emotionally, magically. Astra rose inside me like a tide, no longer curled small in the corner of my consciousness. She stretched, she prowled, she growled. I pressed a hand to my chest. Soren, something's happening. He stepped closer immediately, voice steady. Good, don't fight it. My wolf. She feels different. Because she's waking up, he said, after years of suppression. Astra snarled again, not in fear, in hunger. Power, she whispered. Ours. I exhaled shakily. I'm scared. He cupped my jaw, gently, tenderly, like I was something fragile but treasured. You're not becoming someone new, he said softly. You're remembering who you were always meant to be. My breath caught, and Astra stepped forward in my mind, fierce and bright. Teach us, she demanded. Soren's lips curved. She agrees, he murmured. You can hear her? I can feel her, he said. And she's magnificent. I drew in a sharp breath. Let's begin. Soren led me deeper into the private floor, down a corridor lined with reinforced steel and moonlit runes. At the end, a massive room opened like a secret arena, runic wards etched along the walls. Training mats, silver weapons, a sparring circle glowing faintly gold. The air hummed with restrained power. I froze. This looks like a death match arena. Soren's mouth curved. Flattering, but no. He stepped into the center. His presence filled the space, made the air taste sharper. This is where wolves learn who they are, he said. Not what the pack tells them. Not what an ex-mate demands. Not what a jealous friend manipulates. Who they are. And who am I supposed to be? I whispered. He turned, and the look he gave me? It rooted me to the floor. You, he said, are the wolf they tried to bury. A shiver raced through me. Before we train your wolf, Soren said, we train your spine. My what? Your voice, your confidence, your presence. I blinked. I don't have a presence. You do, he said simply. You just weren't allowed to use it. Astra strutted smugly inside me. We are majestic, she informed me. We merely forgot. Selena, Soren said gently, I want you to stand here. He motioned to a glowing ring. I stepped into it. The magic buzzed under my feet. What now? I asked. Say your name. That's it? That's all. I inhaled shakily. Okay, my name is... Not like that, he cut in, voice warm but firm. Not small, not apologetic. I swallowed. Try again. I straightened my shoulders. My name is Selene. Again. My name is Selene. Louder. My name is... Selene, he said softly. Don't perform. Don't pretend. Don't ask permission. His eyes softened. Say it the way you wish the world had heard you. A breath expanded painfully in my chest. I closed my eyes and whispered, My name is Selene. He stepped closer. That, he murmured, was the beginning. I blinked up at him. You wanted me to whisper it? He nodded. Strength isn't volume, it's truth. My throat tightened. And your truth, he said, is breathtaking. Soren motioned for me to breathe deeply. Your wolf has been trapped for years, he said. So we let her out slowly. How? Instinct first. The lights dimmed slightly. A soft growl vibrated through the room, Astra testing her voice. Soren circled me, not predatory, assessing. Let her rise, he murmured. Don't be afraid. Astra pressed against the inside of my skin. Let me out, she whispered. I exhaled. She feels angry. Good, Soren said. Say it. I'm angry. Again. I'm angry. Again. I inhaled fire. I am angry. Light flared around me. The runes ignited. Astra roared inside my chest. Soren stepped close, voice a quiet thunder. That wasn't anger, he said. That was truth. I trembled. This is intense. It's healing, he corrected. Soren stood in front of me now, eyes locked on mine. Selene, he said, I need you to say something else. I braced. Say, I am not who they said I was. My breath broke. I can't. You can. I'm not sure I believe it. That doesn't matter, he murmured. Your wolf does. Astra snarled in agreement. I swallowed, heart pounding. I am not who they said I was, I whispered. Again. I am not who they said I was. Again, my voice cracked. I am not who they said I was. Magic surged. Light exploded. Astra let out a triumphant howl. Soren stepped closer and touched my shoulder, a grounding, reverent touch. My Selene, he whispered, you are becoming. The training room fell silent, a gentle, powerful silence. Soren lifted my chin with his fingers, the softest touch. You listened to their voices for too long, he said. Now it's time you hear your own. My breath trembled. Soren, yes? Who am I becoming? He smiled, slow, dangerous, utterly tender, the woman who will destroy every lie ever told about her. Astra howled in fierce agreement, and for the first time in my life, I felt like a wolf, not a shadow, not a burden, not a background character, a wolf. If someone trained you like this, not to fight, but to become, would it make you want to run into their arms, or run from your own power? Comment below. I want to know which wolves embrace the awakening and which ones fear it. Soren handed me a towel as my breaths slowed. You did well, he said. I smiled shakily. I felt something crack open. That was your wolf. And what happens now? He stepped close, voice dropping to a vow. Now, he murmured, we prepare you to face the pack that broke you. Astra growled, feral and eager, but my voice, for once, did not tremble. Good, I said softly. Let them feel what they created. Soren's smile turned all wolf. They will. And somewhere in Crescent Hollow, a storm began. Chapter 10. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was afraid, but because I wasn't. Astra prowled inside me like she'd finally remembered she had claws, like she'd finally remembered she had teeth, like she'd finally remembered me. I watched the city lights flicker through the window of my guest suite, glow painting the room in silver and neon. Soren? I whispered quietly into the dark. Yes, he replied immediately from the hallway. A startled laugh escaped me. Were you standing guard? His silhouette leaned against the doorframe, casual and amused. I stand close when your wolf doesn't rest. Astra doesn't rest because she's dramatic. No, he said softly. She's awake. I pulled my knees to my chest. Everything feels heavy, but not in a bad way. That's your instincts aligning with your truth. I don't know what to do next. Then let's decide together. His voice was gentle steel wrapped in velvet. And God's help me. I trusted it. I woke up around dawn exactly 2 minutes before my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Astra growled. Ignore it, the caller ID made my stomach drop. Jace. I stared at the flashing name. The name that once felt sacred. The name that once broke me. Soren appeared instantly in the doorway, shirtless, hair messy, dominance radiating. Who is that? He asked, voice low. I swallowed hard. Jace. His aura darkened like a storm creeping across the sky. Don't answer. I didn't, but it kept buzzing, again and again and again, until my fingers shook with frustration. Finally, I hit speaker. A breathless voice came through the line. Selene? Jace sounded wrecked, panicked, desperate. Selene! Thank the goddess! Listen, please, it's Brielle. Astra perked up viciously. Oh, this should be good. What about Brielle? I asked, voice steady. There was an incident. Of course there was. Define incident, I said coldly, silence. Then, she's been attacked. I blinked. Soren went very still behind me. After a long beat, I said, and? Jace sucked in a breath. Selene, she might die. I didn't respond. Not because I was heartless, but because the girl who would have broken for this news was gone. Soren touched my shoulder gently, grounding me. Why are you calling me? I asked. His answer, I wasn't ready for it. Because her last words were your name. My breath hitched. What did she say? I whispered. She kept mumbling it, Jace said. Asking for forgiveness, asking you to come home, saying she never meant for it to go this far." Soren growled softly, a dark, lethal sound that vibrated through the room. I pressed the phone tighter to my ear. "Jace, what happened to her?" "She was found at the edge of the ward line," he said, "like she tried to cross into Blackwater territory." My stomach twisted. "She wanted to reach me," I murmured. "Yes," he said. "Selene, she was trying to find you." Astra snarled. "Manipulation. Don't trust it. A trap." And she wasn't wrong. But Jace didn't stop there. "She left something behind," he said. "A box, with your name on it." My heart thudded painfully. "What's inside?" I don't know. I was afraid to open it." Then, "Selene, please, come back just to see her. One last time. She kept asking for you." Tears pricked my eyes, old wounds, old loyalties, old memories. But Soren stepped closer, voice quiet and firm. "Selene," he murmured, "you owe them nothing." Jace's voice cut through the room again. "Please, she's dying." Astra went silent. And so did my heartbeat, because no matter what she did, she was once my friend. Soren took the phone gently from my hand. "Rowan," he said, voice like frostbite. "If this is a trap, it's not," Jace cried. "Goddess, please, she's fading. She keeps asking for Selene. She said she has something to confess." Soren's jaw tightened. A confession, a box, a last request, a dying girl whispering my name. It was a story written for heartbreak, and damn me, I felt the pull. "Soren," I whispered, voice trembling, "I need to go." His entire body stiffened. "No, I'm not asking permission." His eyes flared silver, but I stepped closer, voice steady. "I'm asking for your help." Slowly, painfully, his rigid posture softened. "Selene," he said quietly, "if you go, I go." "Of course," I whispered, "you will not face them alone." "I never asked to." His eyes softened. "Good, because I refuse to let you." Soren ended the call. Then he turned to face me fully. "Selene," he said softly, "listen to your heart, not your past." "My heart," I whispered, "is telling me to understand." "And your wolf?" he asked. I closed my eyes. Astra's voice was low. "We finish this." I opened my eyes again. "I'm ready," I said. Soren nodded once, then stepped close enough that our breaths mingled. "Then we go," he said quietly. "But remember one thing." "What?" I whispered. His voice dropped to a vow. "You walk into Crescent Hollow as the woman you've become, not the girl they broke." My breath trembled. "I don't know who that is yet." His eyes burned. "I do." A pause. "Your heart will be loud enough." My chest tightened, warm and fierce. Astra howled inside me for the first time ever. I wasn't afraid to return. I was afraid of what might happen when I did. If your ex-mate called begging you to return because the girl who betrayed you was dying and asking for you, would you go back for closure or tell him to choke on his guilt? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm dying to know what your wolf would do. Soren grabbed his jacket. I grabbed my resolve. And together, we walked out of Blackwater Tower not as Alpha and Guest, not as strangers, but as something fate finally stopped running from. And somewhere beyond the horizon, Crescent Hollow waited. But this time, I wasn't returning quietly. This time, I wasn't returning alone. Chapter 11. Crescent Hollow was only 3 hours away. 3 hours! But somehow, sitting in Soren's black SUV as he drove with lethal calm, every mile felt like a lifetime closing in on itself. Astra paced inside me, not scared, not hesitant, hungry. The road blurred, pines thickened. The familiar scent of my old packlands crept into the air like ghosts slipping through cracks. Soren glanced at me every few minutes. "Breathe," he murmured. "I am breathing." "You're holding your breath." I exhaled sharply. "I don't want to fall apart when we get there." "You won't," he said. "I won't allow it." You can't control my emotions, Soren. His eyes flicked to mine, silver burning softly. No, he said quietly, but I can stand beside you while you feel them. My heart clenched, Astra purred, mate. The closer we got, the heavier the air grew. Crescent Hollow's outskirts came into view, the same shabby houses, the same muddy roads, the same pine trees sagging under fog like they were tired of existing. I swallowed hard. Soren's hand brushed mine, not grabbing, just close enough that I could move toward him if I needed. Selene, he said, before we cross the border, I need you to understand something. My pulse quickened. What? No matter what happens today, he murmured, you leave this place with me. A shiver ran through me. You don't have to fear losing yourself here, he continued. I'm not letting you. I nodded, small but real. Thank you, I whispered. He didn't smile. He looked at me like I said something sacred. 2 Crescent Hollow guards stood in front of the giant wooden gates. The pack symbol burned into the wood. The moment they saw Soren, they straightened so fast I thought one might faint. Alpha Blackwater, one stammered. We weren't told. You weren't supposed to be, Soren said smoothly. His voice carried, deep, lethal, controlled. The guards swallowed. Then one dared to look at me. Selene, he whispered, you came back? For a flicker of a second, fear threatened to rise. But Astra stepped forward in my mind. Stand tall. I lifted my chin. I came for answers. His expression twisted. Shame, surprise, guilt. But Soren stepped between us, blocking the man's view of me entirely. We're done with staring, Soren said. The guard stumbled back. The Alpha and Luna are inside, he said. They're waiting. Luna, Brielle. My stomach twisted. Soren placed a steadying hand at the small of my back. Don't look down, he murmured. I didn't. We stepped into the central courtyard. Silence hit like a physical force. Dozens of wolves stood gathered, warriors, elders, pack families, all staring at me. But not with kindness, not with sympathy, not with welcome, with shock, with guilt, with fear. And for the first time in my life, I didn't shrink. Soren stood so close beside me I could feel the heat of his aura wrapping around mine like armor. A whisper rippled through the crowd. That's her. She came back. Why now? Is it true? Did she abandon Jace? I heard she ran away. I heard she snapped. Astra bristled. Say snapped again, she muttered. I dare you. I breathed slow, controlled, steady. And then a voice cut through the courtyard. Selene. Jace. My former fated mate walked toward us, looking worse than I'd ever seen him, eyes bloodshot, jaw clenched, shoulders tight with exhaustion. He looked at me like I was a lifeline. Then he looked at Soren and flinched. Blackwater, Jace said stiffly. Thank you for bringing her. I didn't bring her, Soren said smoothly. She chose to come. Jace swallowed. Selene, I'm glad you're... No, Soren interrupted, stepping forward. You don't speak to her yet. My breath caught. Jace bristled. You don't govern who... I govern everything you lost the right to touch, Soren said softly. Choose your next words carefully. A ripple went through the crowd. I froze. Soren wasn't posturing, he was protecting, and the pack felt it. A door creaked open on the porch, and there she was, Brielle, laid on a stretcher, pale, bruised, bandaged, her once perfect hair tangled around her face like wilted petals. Her eyes fluttered open, hazy, unfocused. When she saw me, she started crying. Selene, she whispered, voice cracking. You came. My heart twisted painfully, because once, a long time ago, she was my sister in everything but blood. I stepped closer, Soren shadowing me instantly. Brielle reached out with trembling fingers. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Her voice broke into a sob. For a moment the world blurred. Astra leaned forward inside me. Let her speak. Jace moved to help her sit up. But something inside me, something fierce, something newly awakened, stepped forward in my voice before my mind caught up. "Don't touch her," I said. The entire courtyard froze. Even Soren went still. I stepped closer to Brielle. "Tell me," I whispered. "Tell me what you never told me." She shook with grief. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "What wasn't?" "The manipulation," she choked out. "The spells, the suppression, all of it." Soren stiffened. "What spells?" he growled. Jace froze. "Brielle, don't—" She ignored him. I found a witch," Brielle confessed. "To suppress your wolf, to weaken your bond to Jace. I just wanted him. I wanted everything you had." A gasp tore through the courtyard. I stared at her. Broken, small, barely breathing. "Why?" I whispered. "Why would you do that to me?" She sobbed. "Because you already had his heart and you didn't even want it." My breath shattered. Soren stepped closer, voice quiet and deadly. "You tampered with a fated bond." She nodded, trembling. "I lied. I sabotaged. She sobbed harder. "I destroyed you." A tear slipped down my cheek. Not for her. For the girl I used to be. The one who loved her, trusted her. Astra pressed her head against my heart. "Let her finish." Brielle took a shaky breath. "The witch. She warned me," she whispered. "She said magic like that comes back threefold." Soren tensed. "What does that mean?" I asked. Brielle's gaze drifted upward. "To nothing." "It means," she whispered, "this is the price." I swallowed. "Your injuries?" "No," she said, crying harder. "It means the blowback lands on the one with the strongest heart." My chest clenched. "Selene," she whispered. "It should have been you." If you were Selene, hearing your childhood best friend confess to sabotaging your wolf, your bond, and your life, would you forgive her or let her drown in the consequences she created? Comment below. I want to know your wolf's truth. Jace stepped forward. "Selene, we didn't know—" "Stop," I said softly. He froze. "Don't rewrite this," I whispered. "Don't pretend you didn't see the signs. You let her twist me because you never wanted me in the first place." His mouth opened, closed. The truth hung in the air like smoke. Then, a sound cut through the tension. Soren's phone buzzed. He checked it. His eyes darkened. "What?" I asked. He met my gaze. "Blackwater Tower wards have been breached." My blood ran cold. "Someone crossed into our territory," Soren added. Astra snarled. "Who?" I whispered. His answer was a quiet storm. "The witch Brielle hired." And suddenly, everything made sense. The attack, the confession, the panic, the desperation. This wasn't over, not even close. Soren stepped in front of me, aura exploding outward. "We're done here," he said. And Crescent Hollow felt the shift. The quiet girl they never feared. She was gone. The woman standing here now? A wolf with a loud heart, and an alpha beside her. Chapter 12. Panic ripped through Crescent Hollow like a gust of poisoned wind. Whispers erupted. Wolves shifted uneasily. Jace blanched. Brielle sobbed harder. But Soren? He didn't flinch. He turned to me, calm in a way only a predator could be. "Selene, we're leaving. Now." I swallowed hard. "Because of the witch?" "Yes," he said. "She shouldn't be anywhere near you." Jace stepped forward, shaky and pale. "What witch? What are you talking about?" Soren's eyes sharpened. "The one Brielle hired. The one who suppressed Selene's wolf. The one who damaged your bond. The one who hexed your mate into loving someone else." Ripples went through the crowd. Shock. Disbelief. Guilt. Jace's face drained of color. "But Brielle said—" "That she paid a witch," I interrupted quietly, "to make you love her." His throat bobbed. I thought I loved her on my own." "You didn't." Soren stepped between us. "Don't make this about your hurt pride, Rowan. You benefited from her suffering." Jace flinched. Brielle sobbed harder on the stretcher. Please, Selene, please tell him I didn't mean to. Enough, Soren snapped. Even the air froze. I looked at Brielle broken, bleeding, terrified. The girl I once loved like a sister. The girl who stabbed me 1,000 times in 1,000 quiet ways. She reached out her trembling hand. Selene, she whispered, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Old me would have folded. Old me would have clung to hope, to loyalty, to the memory of who she used to be, but the new me, the me Soren helped wake up? I stepped closer, just enough for her to hear my voice clearly. I believe you're sorry, I whispered, her eyes brightened. But I don't forgive you. Silence. You stole my wolf, I said softly. You stole my voice. You stole years of my life, and you didn't stop, not even when you had everything you wanted. She sobbed. I can feel your guilt, I said, but guilt isn't the same as change. Soren placed a gentle hand on my back. Astra purred, Good, that is strength. Brielle's hand fell away from mine as if gravity doubled. Jace inhaled sharply. Selene, he whispered, you're different. I am, I agreed. I didn't do anything, he insisted weakly. I didn't know. You didn't want to know. His face crumpled. Soren stepped forward. Rowan, he said coldly, this is your mess to manage, but she is no longer your responsibility. Soren's phone buzzed again. He read the message, then his eyes lifted to mine, deadly calm. The witch left a message. My breath hitched. What message? Soren's jaw tightened. A threat, Jace stiffened. A threat? To who? Soren met my eyes. To Selene. My stomach twisted. What kind of threat? I whispered. Soren stepped closer, voice low. She said, You stole what I was owed. I'm coming to collect. A cold chill slid down my spine. Stole, I echoed. What is she talking about? Jace demanded. Soren glanced at him, expression grim. Your pack didn't realize they were using a witch with territorial claims. Jace blinked. Territorial? Soren nodded. Witches who help wolves expect payment. What payment? I whispered. Soren inhaled deeply. She wanted your power. My pulse pounded. I don't have... Yes, Soren said firmly. You do. Astra growled in agreement. It was never gone, only buried. Marrow's voice echoed in my mind. You weren't bonded. You were silenced. I clutched my chest. Soren, is she coming for me? Yes. Because I left Crescent Hollow? No, Soren said. Because she wants to finish what Brielle started. Fear rippled through Crescent Hollow like a cold wind. She's coming here? An elder whispered. Why would she come after Selene? Another asked. Because, Soren said, Selene has something she wants. What? Jace demanded. Soren didn't look away from me. Her wolf! A strangled gasp left me. What? She wants Astra? She wants the power in Astra, Soren corrected. Astra snarled in my mind, furious, insulted, ready to bite something. Let her try, she hissed. I dare her. Jace looked panicked. Then Selene needs to stay here. We'll protect her. Soren laughed, a quiet, terrifying sound. You, he said, protect her from the witch you hired? Jace flinched like he'd been struck, the crowd murmured. Guilt, shame, realization. Soren stepped closer, voice like a blade. Your pack silenced her, broke her, tried to summon her back like property, and now you want to protect her? Jace's voice cracked. Please, I can't lose. You lost her long before she walked away, Soren said. I swallowed hard. Because those words? They felt like truth. Brielle's voice broke through the noise. Selene, she's coming for you because of me. I turned slowly. Her face was pale, lips trembling. I owe her, she whispered. Blood magic, life magic. I asked her to break you so I could have what you had. My stomach twisted. And now, Brielle continued, she wants what she thinks I stole. Her gaze locked onto mine. Your wolf. Soren's aura exploded outward. The ground vibrated. "Enough," he growled. "We're leavin'." Jace stumbled forward. "Selene!" Soren shoved him back without touching him, dominance so thick the air bowed. "Stay away from her." Brielle sobbed weakly. "Selene, please, please be careful." I inhaled sharply, then exhaled. Slow, steady, unbroken. "Soren," I whispered, "let's go home." His eyes softened instantly. "Yes," he murmured, "home." He placed his hand on my back, guiding me through the courtyard. Jace called after me. Brielle cried. Wolves whispered. But I didn't look back, because the girl they broke was buried, and the wolf they feared? She was awake. If someone confessed they hired a witch to steal your wolf, would you walk away like Selene, or stay and unleash the fury they earned? Let me know in the comments. Your wolf's instinct matters. Once we crossed Crescent Hollow's border, Soren opened the SUV door for me. Before I stepped in, he touched my chin gently and whispered, "Selene, you understand what this means, don't you? That she's coming for me." "No," he said softly, "that she wants a fight." I swallowed. "Then we give her one," I whispered. Soren smiled, slow, savage, proud. "My wolf," he murmured, "you're finally speaking." Astra howled in fierce agreement. And the witch who wanted what wasn't hers? She had no idea what was coming. Chapter 13. The drive back to Blackwater Tower was silent. Not the uncomfortable kind, not the tense kind, the electric kind, the kind of silence right before lightning splits the sky, before two armies meet, before destiny inhales. Astra paced inside me with sharpened claws. "She wants us," my wolf snarled. "Let her come." I pressed a hand over my heart. It was pounding too fast, too heavy, too full. "Soren?" I whispered. "Yes." Instant, solid, steady. "Are we safe in Blackwater?" He glanced at me, eyes glowing faint silver. "The tower is the safest place on the coast." "But she breached the wards. She cracked the outermost layer." His voice deepened. "She didn't get inside. So she's close." "Yes," Astra growled. "She's hunting me." "No," Soren corrected. "She's hunting a version of you that no longer exists." I swallowed hard. The new version of me was louder, stronger, awake, maybe for the first time. When we pulled into Blackwater territory, the outer wards pulsed gold, reacting to Soren, but also to me. The guards at the entrance straightened when they saw us. Their eyes flicked to me, not with pity, not with curiosity, with recognition. Respect. A warrior stepped forward. "Alpha, the witch left a mark." Soren stiffened. "Where?" The warrior pointed to the courtyard stone. "There." A symbol had been carved into the ground, jagged, spiraled, dark with lingering magic. A claim sigil. I shivered. Astra lunged forward. "She dares?" The sigil pulsed faintly. "She's provoking you," Soren murmured, reading the symbol. "Why?" I asked. He turned to me slowly. "Because witches feed on fear." My breath caught. "And she thinks you're still afraid." I lifted my chin. "I'm not." Soren placed his hand over my shoulder. Warm, grounding. "I know." Inside the tower, Soren took me straight to the war room. The door sealed behind us, runes glowed. Maps covered the table. But what stole my breath wasn't the room. It was the wolf standing near the map. Massive, gray, scarred eyes like molten gold. He shifted smoothly into his human form, tall, broad, older than Soren by maybe a decade. "Selene," Soren said. "This is Rylan, my second." Rylan nodded respectfully. "Omega." Astra approved. "He smells like competence." Rylan looked to Soren. "We found the witch's trail she's not hiding." "Of course she isn't," Soren murmured. "She wants Selene to know she's coming." Rylan studied me, not cruelly, not suspiciously, just evaluating. "Do we know what she wants?" he asked. Soren answered before I could. "She wants Selene's wolf." Rylan's expression turned grim. "That's blood magic." "Exactly." My stomach twisted. What does she need to take it? Your weakness, Rylan said. Pain, fear, self-doubt, anything she can wedge a spell into, Astra snapped. Then she will starve. Soren touched the edge of the map, tracing the witch's sigil with his eyes. She knows you just awakened, he said quietly. She'll assume you're unstable, vulnerable. I'm not unstable. I know, he murmured, but she will attack your mind first, not your body. My voice wavered. My mind? She'll weaponize your memories, Rylan explained. Your guilt, your heartbreak, every lie you believed. I flinched, because the lies Brielle whispered, they lived in the deepest part of me. You're too quiet. You're too boring. You're not enough. You're too much. You're a disappointment. You're nobody. Astra bristled. We are done with lies. Soren noticed my trembling. He stepped closer, cupping my jaw gently. Selene, he whispered, listen to me. My breath hitched. You have power she didn't anticipate. What power? Your heart, I blinked. My heart? Quiet wolves love the deepest, he said softly, and deep hearts create unbreakable wolves. Warmth spread through my chest. A loud heart, a silent wolf. Soren exhaled against my cheek. She cannot break what you've rebuilt. I closed my eyes. Tell me what to do, I whispered. Soren turned to Rylan. We protect her, we ward her, we train her. Rylan nodded. She must strengthen her mental defenses. And her wolf, Soren added. And her past, Rylan said. I stiffened. My past? Rylan nodded slowly. You haven't faced Jace and Brielle's betrayal fully. That wound is open, the witch will use it. I swallowed hard. What do I do? Soren stepped close again. You let it hurt, he said, so it can stop hurting. I blinked rapidly. That sounds awful. It is, Astra growled. Let it burn. Selene, Soren murmured. The witch cannot claim a wolf who has forgiven herself. I froze. Forgiven? Myself? For staying too long, for loving too deeply, for believing Brielle, for hoping Jace cared, for abandoning my instincts, for losing myself. A tear slid down my cheek. Can I do that? I whispered. Soren brushed the tear away with his thumb. Yes, he whispered, because you're not alone anymore. Astra leaned into him in my mind, mate. Anchor, home. A sudden boom rattled the tower. The runes on the war room walls flashed red. Rylan's eyes widened. Alpha, she's here. Soren's aura exploded. Selene, he said sharply, behind me. The tower trembled again. Wind howled. Magic warped the air. A shadow moved outside the windows. The witch's voice echoed. Soft, taunting, melodic. Little wolf, you can't hide from me. Astra snarled. Let me tear out her throat. Soren stepped directly in front of me, body coiled and lethal. Selene, he said, turning his head just enough for me to hear, this is the moment you choose who you are. My breath shook. Who? His voice was a vow. You are the wolf who survived them. Another boom. The lights flickered. The wards strained. The witch hissed through the cracks of magic. Come out, Selene, come out, and give me what's mine. Astra rose, roaring inside my chest. We are not hers. We are ours. I inhaled, long, slow, steady, and stepped out from behind Soren. His breath caught, but he didn't stop me. The witch shrieked in fury, and I whispered, let her in. If a witch came for your wolf, demanding you surrender the power you never got to use, would you hide behind your alpha? Or step forward like Selene just did? Tell me in the comments. I want to know which wolves are ready for war. Soren's hand hovered near mine, not holding, not guiding, simply there. You're sure? He whispered. Yes. Astra howled. Rylan stepped forward. Alpha! Soren held up a hand. She's not hiding anymore. I lifted my chin, voice steady. She wants my wolf? Magic thundered outside. The witch screeched. Then she can try. Soren smiled. Slow, proud, terrifying. "My Selene," he murmured, "you are no longer quiet." Astra bared her teeth, and the witch tore open the wards. Epilogue. The world broke open in light. Not blinding, not burning, not violent, transformative. The moment the witch ripped through Blackwater's wards, the entire tower thrummed with the force of it, metal vibrating, runes flaring, the very air cracking like storm glass. But I didn't flinch. I stepped forward. Because finally, I wasn't the girl in the corner, I was the wolf in the center. And Astra? She rose inside me like a sun. She emerged in a swirl of black smoke and silver flame, eyes glowing like dying stars, hair floating wild around her face. And she smiled. "Little wolf," she purred, "I knew your silence was a trick." I didn't react. Soren did. His aura slammed into the room, ripping the oxygen thin. Rylan moved behind him, stance ready, but I lifted a hand. "It's mine," I whispered. Soren froze. A warning, a promise, a choice. I stepped toward the witch. She circled me like a predator, her magic scraping against the edges of my mind. "Oh," she breathed, "you've awakened. That's delicious." Astra growled so loudly inside me the witch staggered. "Oh," she repeated, softer, "that's not what it was supposed to feel like." No fear, no hesitation, no fracture, just strength. She extended a hand. "Come with me, Wolf. You don't belong to him." I laughed, a soft, dangerous sound that didn't feel like mine at all. "I don't belong to anyone." Magic crackled, Soren's breath caught. Astra purred with pride. The witch's smirk cracked into a snarl. "You think you're powerful now? You think bonding with a stronger alpha makes you whole?" "No," I said quietly. The witch blinked. "It wasn't the bond," I whispered. "It was the truth." I stepped forward. "You can't steal a wolf I finally claimed for myself." The witch lunged, magic shot toward me, dark, spiraled, vicious. I felt it slam into my mind. A cold, invasive pressure, trying to claw into old wounds. "You're weak," a childhood whisper. "You're invisible," a teenage echo. "You're unworthy," a liar's gospel. But Astra, my wolf, didn't break this time. She roared, a sound so primal the air split. My own voice followed, soft but unshakable. "I am not who you said I was." The magic shattered. The witch stumbled backward, eyes wide. "What are you?" she hissed. Soren stepped beside me now, not in front of me, not shielding, beside. "She is Selene Hart," he said. "Fated wolf awakened Omega, my equal." My heart slammed into my ribs. Equal. The witch screamed and threw another spell. Dark tendrils shot toward me like claws. But Astra surged forward and my voice echoed hers. "I am not broken." Light burst from me, soft, warm, powerful. The tendrils burned away. The witch staggered. "This isn't possible." "You silenced me," I whispered. "You caged me." I took another step. "But you never erased me." Another step. "You twisted my bond." Another. "You tried to steal my wolf." Closer. "You nearly destroyed my life." The witch shrank back, shaking. "You can't. You shouldn't." "But you never understood one thing," I said. The room stilled. Astra prowled behind my voice. Soren's protective presence wrapped around me like thunder. And I whispered the truth the world had waited for. Quiet wolves break last. Light exploded from my chest. Not fire, not rage, not vengeance. Truth. It struck the witch square in the heart. She screamed. Magic unraveling, body flickering, power collapsing in on itself. And in the next breath, she was gone. Silence. Then, breathing, trembling. Heartbeat. Mine. Soren's. Astra's. Soren reached me first. Not grabbing, not claiming. Just grounding. His forehead touched mine, breath warm and shaking with something dangerously close to awe. "Selene," he whispered, "you didn't defeat her." I held my breath. He smiled softly. "You outgrew her." A tear slipped down my cheek, But it wasn't grief. It was finally, freedom. Astra curled around my soul, purring, "We are ours." Soren pulled me gently into his arms, not as a shield, not as a savior, as a home. Blackwater healed around us over the next days. The wards rebuilt, the sigils faded, the magic settled. And the pack? They didn't whisper when I walked by. They bowed. Not because I was Soren's mate, not because I survived, not because I fought a witch, but because I was me, Selene Hart, Omega-born quiet-raised, truth-forged, wolf-awakened. And Soren? One night, as we stood on the rooftop garden overlooking the city, his arm brushed mine. "Little wolf," he murmured, "what do you hear now? Not whispers, not lies, not my own doubt. My heart," I whispered. "Loud." He smiled, slow, reverent, breathtaking. "Good," he said, "then let me hear it forever." Astra purred. I smiled. And under the silver moon, wind brushing my cheek like a promise, the quiet girl who once hid in corners finally stepped into her future. Open, fearless, fierce. Silent wolf. Loud heart. Finally free. Thank you for listening to Silent Wolf, Loud Heart. If Selene's journey hit you in the chest, even once, drop a wolf emoji in the comments. Tell me, would you have survived Crescent Hollow? Or would your loud heart have broken their gates sooner? If you loved this story, share it with your pack. And subscribe to Rene's romance stories for the next slow burn, heart-shattering, fate-twisting love story coming your way.